Hello everybody and welcome to Forza Horizon 3. I am here for another hill climb episode and I'm going to be using one of the new cars from the newest DLC. I believe it's the Play something DLC. I can't remember the name even though I just looked at it like 10 seconds ago. I'm going to be using the Cadillac ATS-V. The car starts off in relatively low A class, so we should have a bit of room for upgrades. I'm just a little bit worried about when we put the snow tires on. Okay, so that shoots us up to the bottom of S1 class with the snow tires. I'm pretty sure I'm not in Blizzard Mountain right now, so it's saying rally tires, but it is going to transfer them into snow tires. We are going to want upgraded tire widths. It does start with relatively beefy tires on the front, 255s. We are going to get 285s on the front. The only thing I'm kind of worried about with this car is the weight. It weighs 3,700 pounds, and we're going to get 325s in the rear, so pretty decent tire widths. But with the weight being 3,700 pounds, I'm going to want to get some weight out of the car, but that might make it slightly underpowered depending on how the PI works out in this car. We also do have to go and make it all-wheel drive, which only puts the PI up a little bit, but it does put it up to almost 3,900 pounds. That's a slight disadvantage. We are not going to be changing the engine, but we do have the 6.2 liter V8, the V10 Viper engine, and... wait, that's not the V10 Viper engine. One of these two is the V10 Viper engine. I can't remember which one. I think it's this one. But we have two V10s that we could put in the car and actually still keep it within the class restrictions. So I might actually come back depending on how the standard engine fares. Because if we can get more power and a lighter engine in at the end of this, I may go with that just to give the car a little bit of a better chance. I am going to want to upgrade all of the handling parts on the car. As per the rules, we have to have the rally suspension. Roll cage, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with roll cage. It doesn't actually change the PI, but it does put us up quite a significant amount of weight. And where it's a newer car, I don't think we're going to be needing one, so I am going to skip that for now. Now this is where, excuse me, I'm worried about. We do have 464 horsepower, so we do have a decent amount of horsepower in the car. We do still have 30 PI to mess about with to get more power in the car. I'm not sure what stage of weight reduction I want to go for. I think I'm going to go for the top end, the race weight reduction, if I could speak. Mostly just because having 3,400 pounds, 3,500 pounds is going to be a lot of car trying to move through some of these tight, twisty corners. So I definitely do want to get the weight out of the car. Now, I am just going to... actually, I forgot to put the aero bits on. Hopefully this doesn't... okay, so it only really bumped the PI up by 1 PI. All things considered, I am just going to take a quick look at the engines. So we could get the V10. The 5.2 liter V10, it is slightly lighter, about, what is that, 30 pounds or so lighter, 36 pounds. It does give us 602 horsepower. I am going to see how much power I can get out of the standard engine. I just wanted to have a benchmark, so if the standard engine doesn't get more than 602 horsepower, I am going to swap the engine in it. But we will stick on some of these parts here and just see what we do get. It isn't looking like it's going to get that 602, unless the turbos maybe might put it up. How much did the exhaust add on? I don't think the exhaust added on 7 PI. No, it didn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the standard engine is going to get the 602 horsepower that I want it to. Could get almost 601. I think I am just going to swap the engine. I do like keeping standard engines, but this engine, it just, the way the PI system works, it gives me 602 horsepower, a little bit more room to play around with as well, and it's lighter. It is less torquey by a little bit. Like before we put any of the upgrades on this engine, I think the torque was 444. So we have slightly less torque, but we are going to have more power. I'm doubting we're going to get a turbo on. Nope. It'd be nice to have another 211 horsepower, but that ain't going to happen. I am also going to have a look at the gearbox, because we do have quite a bit of power now. If I can just get a few pounds out of the car with things like gearbox and so on. Okay, so what does this change? Anything major? No, and it does make us a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to go for these. It didn't really add too much PI on 1 PI. And then I have a little bit of room. This engine actually doesn't have that much in upgrades. It doesn't have like an oil and cooling. I don't know if I've ever actually used this engine before. Okay, so now comes the fiddly bit of trying to figure out which bit will actually give me the right PI, and that will. Will anything else sneak on maybe? I highly doubt it, but it's always worth a look, because you never know when you could just miss something. Nope. And I doubt that's going to. So we'll see if we can get a fly on. Unfortunately, we can't. Oh, it would only take out 1 pound, so it's not like we're missing out on anything. Okay, so we have 617 horsepower. It's not, I don't think it's the most horsepower we've seen. I'm pretty sure we've had more than that in the Chevelle. I can't remember exactly how much the Chevelle had. It's been a little while since I did that episode, but it's going to be one of the more powerful cars in this series. I definitely think that it has potential. The only thing that might hold it back is its weight. Alright, we are here at the Devil's Corners Hill Climb event to see how well the ATS-V will fare. Now we have to beat a 204.7. That was the time set by the Chevy Chevelle last time out. I can say already this car is nice through that opening corner, but we do have to remember that opening corner is icy tarmac, so it's going to be a little bit different than driving on the snowy, icy dirt that is basically what we're driving on now. The brakes, they're not bad on this car so far, but they are a little bit spongy. I don't know what word to use to describe them, but spongy is the word I'm going to use. They just don't get the car stopped that well. There is a lot of car to stop. Let's be completely and utterly honest here. The car weighs over 3,000 pounds. There's going to be a lot of car to stop. We are getting some decent enough speed, 112 miles an hour before I get on the brakes for that corner. I probably could have pushed that a tiny bit more before getting on the brakes there. But better be safe than sorry. I don't want to run into a wall and completely invalidate this lap time, but that's what it is. Get it up around this corner. The back end is fairly planted. We're not spinning around or anything. The little bit of extra weight may help in some regards there. Oh, I break myself a little bit there. Yeah, the little bit of extra weight that this car has going on might help it have a little bit more composure. You can get it sliding. It's very rare to have a car on Horizon that doesn't slide. Oh, let's get turned there. I am going to try something here. I am going to, yeah, there. Try a little bit of an inside line there around that ice, just to see if we can avoid hitting the ice and the bumps. It's 95 miles an hour across the jump. It's not the fastest we've seen, but that's kind of to be expected. The car doesn't have overly crazy levels of power for the amount of weight that it has. Ooh, it's going to be quick. I think we might have a new leader. And indeed we do. That was unexpected, to say the least. A 204.3. We have seen in almost every episode since the i8 went, because the i8 apparently was just trash coming up here. We've seen a new leader. The S2000, when it went to the top of the table. When the Chevelle went, it went to the top. And when the Cadillac went, it's gone to the top right away. So yeah, there's definitely room to improve, and I'm actually extremely surprised how well this car did. Okay, we are here again for the Cadillac's second run up the hill climb course. I'm not sure where this car is making up its time, to be completely honest with you, because it doesn't seem to be that amazing under acceleration. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be getting like highest speeds out of cars that we've seen run here. There must be something about it. Must be its grip, I think, is what is doing it well up this course. I got on the power a little bit too soon there, and we had some issues, so this run already hasn't started out that well. Pardon me if you hear me coughing, it's because I'm getting over a cold that I've had for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, that's life. Yeah, it does have quite a bit of... I almost just said drift, because I saw the awesome drift that we got there. It does have quite a bit of grip. Like I said, you can get sliding, as you've seen me do there. Oh, I pushed it a little bit too soon. Or, a little bit too soon. A little bit too much, sorry. Words are not coming to me well today. Yeah, I'm kind of almost using this run as a bit of a practice run. I kind of screwed up the run a little bit early on. But yeah, I'm just kind of seeing what I can do with the car bit. 'Cause, I mean, we've already gone quicker, and we do still have that final run to try and go even quicker than that 204.3 that we put up in our first run. So yeah, like I said, I am just trying to push the car that little bit more than I probably should be. I'm going to try this inside line. It didn't really work out well that time. Get it under control, get on the brakes for the corner. Yeah, I was kind of at an awkward angle there. I probably shouldn't have dove to the inside there. 92 miles an hour. We did have kind of a bit of a compromised line going into that corner anyways. These final corners are a pain. They're so tight. I think I may have actually missed that checkpoint. Yep. Really? The game's just going to let me continue past the finish line? Okay. Yeah, these final corners are a pain, just the way they're laid out. They're like 90-degree corners. Yeah, missing a checkpoint didn't help us there at all. But yeah, I basically just used that as a bit of a gauging run to see what the car could do. Hopefully we'll be able to beat that 2-minute 4.3 in the next run. Alright, time for the Cadillac's third and final run. As long as I do everything properly and get another miracle like I did in the first run, this car is going to go quick. I kind of have a feeling for the car now and what its limits are, I guess. So hopefully I don't mess anything else up. I don't know what just happened there. I was on the brakes, and then when I got off the brakes, it seemed like I was still on the brakes. That was weird. I don't know what happened. It could just be me. I don't know. I don't know if something weird actually happened there or not. But yeah, I definitely think this car's strength is the amount of corner speed it can take. It doesn't feel like it's going extremely quickly. And that's the thing. There's cars out there that they feel like they're going extremely quick, but you end up seeing their lap time and you're like, really? I thought I went like 10 seconds quicker than that. And then you have a car like this Cadillac. It's a big, heavy car that it just feels like it's going slowly. Oh, it caught a bump at a really awkward point there while I was braking. But yeah, there's cars like the Cadillac that they feel kind of slower. They don't feel really fast, but they end up being the cars that go the quickest over the course of a lap. Come on, stop sliding, you moron. I must also say that the sound of this engine is just glorious. The V10 sound on this game is just amazing. Whether you're using this one or the V10 Viper engine, they are both just amazing. I got that line almost perfect up through there. Carry speed, I'm going to go to this inside line once again. We did catch a little bit of ice there on the outside. Carry decent speed around that final corner and get up to 98 miles an hour. That's the quickest the Cadillac has been across that jump. I am getting on the brakes a little bit early there, that way I don't overshoot this corner. Get on the power out of this final corner and see what we are going to do. It is going to be a quicker run. My God, how did I find that much time in a run? I think cars are going to struggle to beat the Cadillac's time. I know I said it with the Chevelle. I thought the cars would struggle to beat that because the fastest car before we had the Chevelle was the S2000, and it did a 206.4. when the Chevelle did a 204.7, I said that that was extremely quick, and I doubted that things would go much quicker than that. But the Cadillac just went 2 seconds quicker than the Chevelle. Beating it by a couple tenths of a second in the first opening run, I was surprised by that. Beating it by 2 seconds, I am blown away by how good that car was. When I was going through the car list, I wanted to pick something out of the DLC. And I was looking at some of the cars that I knew other people had already shown and showcased in their videos. Some things like the new Holden and one of the Hondas and so on. And I just picked the Cadillac because it seemed like a kind of an underrated car that people weren't covering too much. And I like driving cars like that. The underrated cars or the weird cars that people just kind of shy away from. I honestly, when I picked this car, I never thought that it would go this quickly. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. And until next time, goodbye.